if you've been blocked by your ex and you don't know what to do. I'm gonna explain in this video the 6 main reasons why your ex probably blocked you. I'll explain for each reason what you should be doing with a quick recap in terms of your attitude, the different techniques to help people get unblocked. Being blocked is a bad news, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. I've seen cases, actually quite recently, of a client who was blocked for a few months and then unblocked, and now they are back together. He followed my advice and my tip. I will explain you which one after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So getting blocked, it's a bad news. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say like, yeah, it's a good sign, so because they want space and space wants that. No, that's bullshit. It doesn't mean it's over, as I discussed. However, it means that you have a massive problem of communication, and my cat wants to play with the glass anyway. And also, I would argue a bit of immaturity from their side. When you block someone, it's very childish. I know a lot of teenagers, they block each other each time they're upset, and like, oh, I'm gonna block you. So it's kind of that childish move as well, if we think about it. So I say take the quiz because you need to assess also if you have any chance to get back with your ex. The quiz is a quiz that will provide you a snapshot, sort of a scoring system, telling you if you have a chance to get back with your ex. If your score is below 15 and you're blocked, I think you should stop watching this video and watching this type of content and try to do something else. It means that it's not something you can recover from. And as usual, if depending, because you can have a score, now I'm gonna make it more confusing. If you got a score above 15, but you see that your situation is more towards the beginning, then also it's going to be very hard for you to get back with your ex. So bear with me, I will assess through the presentation whether I can help or whether I can't. The first one, they want to stop any form of abuse. They consider that you were abusive, and blocking you is somehow one step ahead of some restraining order or other sort of legal reinforcement. If that's the case, you have to seek help. Why would your ex think that you were abusive? Why would they say that they feel scared, they are threatened? You have to be realistic. If someone tells you that, I can guarantee you that it's going to be very hard, almost impossible to get back with them. How can you turn this around? So be realistic. Sometimes maybe you're in denial that you and your ex have a chance to get back together. So seek help. Try to see a therapist, someone like myself, to talk about this. It's very serious stuff. And if you were to call me, I wouldn't help you to get back with your ex, but I would help you to understand why they would say things like that. Maybe you have anger management issues or things like that. This is something you need to address because that will have an impact on your next relationship, that will have an impact on your kids if you have kids, and so on. So something to really address. Bullying is a form of abuse. You have also the cyberbullying, when you harassing people, whether it's on social media or by messages. This sort of passive-aggressive comments that you can see as well could be very childish from your point of view. Again, on this one, I won't help you to get back with your ex. You have to ask yourself why you're acting like this. It's very toxic, and in a way, I can help you try to look at the root cause of why you're toxic, probably some of your childhood, probably a lot of insecurity, but I won't help you getting back with your ex. I don't want to help people bullying others. Third one, they want to give some space. They want to give them some space. They want to get some space, basically. Give themselves some space. Give themselves some space. Remember that they don't block you because they hate you. That's also something you might think. She or he dumped me. I felt rejected. And now he blocked me or she blocked me. It's even worse. So he must be hating me to do that. It's different than that. It's more subtle than that in some cases. They just need to think through. They, in a way, need that headspace to deal with the breakup. And having sort of that maybe disturbance or maybe that emotional, not pain, but the investment in replying to your messages prevents them from having that space. So when they block you, it's a warning telling them, okay, for now, leave me some space. I need to rethink. Right? But if you think about it, and that's why I talk about no contact, and that's why you can hear a lot about no contact, you also need that space. You also need that space to think through, to consider the reason of the breakup, to understand why you feel so touched, why you feel so maybe depressed, why all those negative emotions. You can use that time. You need that time to reflect and pause. It can be something I can help you with. It really depends whether you are unblocked at some stage, because in a way that's the forced no contact. Your ex is forcing you to do no contact. So in a way your ex is forcing you to do the right thing. Number 4, they need to set boundaries. It's also a classic one. Perhaps there's something that they never expressed before, and I see that very often, where you break up with your partner and your partner and when people, it's common because people tell me like, we never fight. But then she broke up with me listing hundreds of things that were wrong with the relationship and I didn't know about. And so in a way, this is blocking you is a form of setting boundaries. That breakup really amplified the resentment. It's sort of the ketchup effect. I say like, you do this like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And at some point, all those negative things, all those resentments go away. Okay? And that's why it's so important to respect this while you focus on yourself. Similar to number 3, that space is important. That space is crucial for you to work on yourself and to understand why they set that boundaries. So you need to understand why they had this deep need to set boundaries. Maybe it's something you did, maybe it's something you said, maybe it's how you approach the situation, maybe it's how you treated them. And when they unblock you, something needs to be different. Maybe they were scared to speak up. They didn't feel that safety or that confidence to speak up. So there's a reason for that. You're also responsible for that. So it's all those things that you have to analyze when you are forced to do no contact. 5, they don't want to filter posts. So that could happen when you are blocked on social media but not on WhatsApp, for example. It's just that they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to feel embarrassed, or they don't want to play games. On this one, I try to look at different cases that I had recently. It's really hard to assess because it could be very bad in the sense that, maybe they're really happy right now with their rebound, with their new partner, and they don't want to see you. They don't want you to see them. Very often, people want to get their ex jealous to make them react, and they would show off. But the fact that they're hiding that they have a new relationship, for me, it's a really bad sign. So it could be, there could be really bad things or really good things. It's just a way that they feel embarrassed. They don't want to hear about you. Some people also block. They don't know how you can unfollow people. They don't want to have any news from you, so they would block you. So there's a lot of things, and it could be confusing. But that could be a reason if your ex blocked you on social media, but not necessarily on WhatsApp. They want to avoid doing something stupid. So for example, when you're on a diet, what do? You remove whatever it's in the fridge, in the cupboards, all the cakes, the sugary stuff, you remove them. It's the same. And in a way, that's sometimes I advise my clients not to block their partner, but to remove their number, to unfollow them on social media, because you still have a lot of feelings and you need a bit of space to digest the breakup, to work on yourself. So in a way, don't try to force anyway. And what my tip would be to carefully check in with friends, what they're up to, not talking necessarily about them constantly, but checking what's going on. It means that they are not sure, and so there's still something. Otherwise they would be feeling neutral about you. And neutral is the worst thing you can get. So it's better that your ex hates you than your ex to be indifferent towards you. So when they unblock you, their decision will be more rational, because at this moment in time, it's very emotional. That breakup was really painful for them. And so they say like, okay, I can't deal with that right now. I need to block him or her, because I can't, it gives me, it brings me back to that fight, it brings me back to that relationship. So I need that space. And at some stage, they will unfollow you, and they will have all those negative feelings in the back, not in the front of the head, but in the back of the head, in the back of the mind. And they will probably more remember the good and happy memories than those things related to the fight or the breakup. Number 6, they do that to stop stalking you. Maybe sad to see how things unfold. Maybe seeing you right now makes them regret, thinking like, oh shit, why did I do that? If you work with me, that's usually what my ex's client think, like, what did I do? They have this bad feeling, and at this stage they don't want to reconsider. So naturally and gradually, as they recognize that they made a mistake, don't overdo it. It will come naturally, it will be organic. Be secretive, don't show off, don't pretend that you have either you're dating someone if you're not, that you have parties even if you don't go to parties. The time will come, and don't try to win. It's something people also, they want to win, they block me, I'm not going to block. Don't enter into this sort of game. Before the recap, and I always forget to say that, so I'm going to do it in this video. You can call me. I have free discovery calls where you can give me a 15-minute call where you can ask as many questions as you want in 15 minutes, and I will help you out in your situation. You can also take the quiz that I mentioned before to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. This is totally free. All of this is totally free. There's also WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp me if you don't want to call me. There's my number as well in the description. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I check my WhatsApp once or twice a day, so I will get back to you at some point. I'm going to test some groups as well, group coaching, so you can apply to those using the link in the description. And last but not least, don't hesitate, don't forget to like the video if you like the content, if you found that this was helpful and something new, that you learned something new today. You can also comment if you have any question about your situation, whether you don't fall into those categories. And I know I did a typo, there's 2 number 5s. And you can also subscribe if you want to watch more contents like this. Conclusion, recap. Block is not always rejection. Of course, it's a signal, but it's not always a rejection. It's a need from your ex to create that space. And the way they do it, and it's a bit clumsy, it's a bit rude, it's a bit immature, but the way they do it is they block you. And so the positive things, if you want to see the glass half full, is that you are now forced to do no contact, which is a good technique, fundamentally. The problem is, of course, compared to no contact, is that you have to be unblocked. The other problem you have, and the other mistake that I see consistently, is that when they're unblocked, people are like, okay, I'm unblocked. And they jump on their phone and they send like thousands of messages. When you're unblocked, don't reach out immediately. You can reach out, but don't reach out immediately. When they block, unblock, because I see that quite often. And when I prepared this video, I was trying to think of ways of why people would do that. And to be honest, I still don't understand the psychology. I don't think it's to make you react. I think there's some inner battle in people's mind thinking like, oh yeah, I want to unblock him because that's quite rude. And then, oh no, but I don't want to speak with him. So I think there's a deep feeling of insecurity when they unblock you that prevents them from, and that's actually push them to block you again. But it's really weird. And let me know in the comment section. I'd be very interested to know how many of you are having this situation of blocking, unblocking, blocking. They block me in the morning, they unblock me in the evening, then they block me in the morning, and on and off, like 2 hours unblocked, and then they block you. Let me know, because I'd be curious to know. I want to do a bit of research on this one, because I've had the case recently of clients, and I've tried to make sense of it, and I couldn't really. And of course, there's not a lot of studies research studies on this. So let me know if that's the case for you. I'd be interested to know if it's very frequent or if it's something, it was kind of an exception that I encountered recently with a client. Anyway, that's it for me today. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.